Okay, so take two for our hot lunch story. So there's a young boy, and it was his first trip on a train, and he was really excited. He couldn't wait. He was about 10 years old, and he was escorted onto the train, and he sat down in the seat that was in one of those seats that there was two rows of seats that faced each other. And a few minutes after being sat down and putting his bag away, a man came in, sat across from him with a briefcase. And the man took his briefcase and he put it on the seat next to him. And the train started to move, and the boy and the man started to talk for a few minutes. And then the man became quiet, and he looked over at his briefcase, and he opened up his briefcase, and he took out a bunch of grapes. Put the briefcase on his lap and took out a knife and began to slice all of the grapes one by one into halves. And then he took two napkins from his briefcase, laid them down, and put all of the grapes, the half grapes, on one napkin, and then he put all of the vines on the other. He put his briefcase down. He took both packages, the grapes and the vines. He stood up, he walked to the back of the train, he opened up the door, and he threw both packages out onto the tracks. Shut the door, he walked back to his seat, he sat down, he opened up his briefcase, and he took out a pineapple, closed his briefcase, took out his knife, peeled the pineapple, cored the pineapple, sliced the pineapple. He put all of the core and the skin and the rind in one napkin, and all the sliced up pieces in the other napkin. He wrapped up both in a nice neat little packages. He stood up, he took the packages, he walked to the back of the train, he opened up the door, and he threw both packages out onto the tracks. He closed the door, and he walked back to his seat. He sat down and he opened up his briefcase, and he took out an apple. He closed his briefcase, took out his knife, skinned the apple, cored the apple, sliced up the apple, cut it up into nice neat little pieces. He put all the nice neat little pieces on one napkin. He put all the skins and the rinds on another napkin. He wrapped them up in nice neat little packages. He took the packages, he stood up, he walked to the back of the train, he opened up the door, he threw out both packages onto the tracks, shut the door, and walked back to his seat. Now, the little boy was starting to wonder what was going on. It was his first time on a train, but this seemed like odd behavior. The man sat down, opened up his briefcase, took out an orange, closed his briefcase, peeled the orange, put all the peels on one napkin, quartered the orange, sliced it up into nice neat little chunks, put it on the other napkin, wrapped up both napkins in nice neat little packages, stood up, walked to the back of the train, opened up the door, and threw out both packages onto the tracks, shut the door, and walked back to his seat. He opened up his briefcase, and he took out a kiwi, closed his briefcase, he skinned the kiwi, he sliced the kiwi, he put all the skins on one napkin, he put all the slices of kiwi on the other napkin, he wrapped them both up into nice neat little packages. He stood up, he took both packages, walked to the back of the train, opened up the door, and threw both packages out onto the tracks, closed the door, walked back to his seat, and sat down. Then he opened up his briefcase and took out a watermelon. He closed his briefcase. He quartered the watermelon. He scooped out all the melon. He put all the rinds in one napkin. He sliced up all the melon into nice neat little quarters. He put it into the other napkin. He wrapped up both napkins into nice neat little packages. He stood up, took both packages, walked to the back of the train, opened up the door, threw both packages out onto the tracks, closed the door, and walked back to his seat. He sat down, he opened up his briefcase, and inside he pulled out a grapefruit. Closed his briefcase, peeled the grapefruit, put all the peels in one napkin. He quartered the grapefruit, made nice neat little slices and little quarters. He put them into the other napkin. He wrapped up both napkins in nice neat little packages. He stood up, He took the packages, he walked to the back of the train, he opened up the door, he threw both packages out onto the tracks, closed the door, walked back to his seat. Then he opened up his briefcase. He took out some bananas, and he closed his briefcase, and he peeled the bananas, put all the peels in one napkin, and then he sliced up all the bananas in nice, neat little quarter-sized pieces, put them in the other napkin, made two nice, neat little packages, wrapped them up, stood up, walked to the back of the train, opened up the door, and threw out both packages onto the tracks. He closed the door and walked back to his seat. Now, the little boy finally looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" And the man said, "Well, I'm making fruit salad. Can't you see?" So the little boy said, "Well, why are you throwing all the fruit salad out onto the tracks?" And the man said, "Obviously, I don't care for fruit salad."